folks, Papa Boris here, playing some more leaders. Let's go ahead and do a game against Pablo Saraiva. Someone from Brazil. Wow, this is a game with some international acclaim. Okay, hang on. I saw this table and I jumped into it because sometimes you kind of have to wait a while. And then I got my OBS going. All right, now the microphone's in the right place. Okay, so my opponent grabs the Assassin, which is a very aggressive choice. I'm not sure I would have picked this myself just because the Vizier is here, and so that makes it a lot easier to run away from your opponent's Assassin. Anyway, I'm probably going to be taking the Vizier and the Brewmaster since, I don't really like the Nemesis. I still haven't figured that one out. So we'll end the action phase, and of course the question is, who do we take first? You have to think about that a little bit since, there's a chance that something better comes along, and you end up not taking your original plan. I'm going to grab the Vizier. I have won a lot of games with the Brewmaster. People forget about this, but because my opponent has the Assassin, I do think it's a good idea to get a little bit of extra protection. We got the Protector, which is great, because it's not that good. So we'll just stick the Brewmaster here. Well, I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't have put the Brewmaster like that. Maybe putting it nearer to my other stuff would have made more sense. But okay, my opponent's playing pretty aggressively here. I'm guessing that they're going to grab this Rider that just showed up, because that would allow them to get to my leader really quickly. No, everyone loves the Nemesis. Oh my god. Wow. Well, all right. Now, the tricky thing is that I am going to have to move my leader because I can't just let this Assassin come up to me, obviously. But all right, let's get the Vizier here. And then do I move the leader now or do I wait and move it later? I think I'm going to just move it now. I'm fine with just tucking my leader back here. And so the Nemesis can come up here, and that's fine, because as long as I don't move my leader anymore, it's not going to make any difference. Although, of course, maybe the right logic would have been move the leader away from the Nemesis, but the thing is, I kind of like to put some distance between myself and this Assassin, and here I think we have a very clear choice. We're going to grab the Wanderer, because my opponent does have the Nemesis so far up and the Assassin and left the leader back here. It's going to be a little bit tricky for them to stop my Wanderer from jumping in pretty close. Now they could, of course, recruit somebody, put the leader here and recruit somebody here or here. Nah, then I can jump in there. Maybe put the leader there. Nah, it's just really hard. It's really hard to make it so that your opponent can't get anywhere. They would have needed to leave the Assassin here, basically. If they had left the Assassin here, then that would have blocked these squares from being wandered into. Okay, so now I have to decide if maybe I want to take the Rider and try to charge up to the enemy king. Okay. Well, do I need to keep the Vizier here for protection from the leader, or from the Nemesis? I don't necessarily need to, but then again, I'm not really sure what the Vizier is really accomplishing in this spot. So I think I am going to move it. Worst case scenario, I can always move it back if I need to. Like, I can put the Vizier here and move my leader there. I think I'm all right with that. So we'll just do this. Perhaps I'm being a little bit aggressive, but now we're going to jump. And the question is, which of these two spots do I want to jump into? And I think the answer is this one, because I have two pieces going down these lanes. So I want to prevent the enemy leader from going over here, because if the leader could get to this side of the board, that would really buy my opponent a lot of time. All right, I think we're going to just grab the Rider. I'm not going to move my leader here. We're going to grab the Rider. At this point, I think I just want to put the Rider here, because then I can move the Vizier up and move the Rider 2 spaces. I could also do the same thing from this spot, I guess. But there's usually no point in putting it in front of the Manipulator. All right, so we're just going to stick the Rider. I don't want to put it here because the Manipulator could manipulate it, potentially. So yeah, we'll just stick it here. Okay, my opponent got an Acrobat, which could be dangerous. The opponent could use this Nemesis as a jumping off point for the Acrobat, so I do need to be a little bit careful with that. My opponent has to be extremely careful here, because this Brewmaster can give the Vizier a kick. So the leader can't actually move. Well, the leader could move. Leader could move to this spot, and then that way the Wanderer can't get up to it this turn. But I still might want to do the giving the Vizier a kick move, because that would let me get past the Manipulator and prevent the Manipulator from just pushing my Vizier back. Now, my opponent, of course, does get their last recruit. Something like the acrobat right here could be good, because then if I do put the vizier there, they can jump and get the acrobat really close. My opponent goes for the jailer. That's very curious. I don't really care about my wanderer not wandering, because my wanderer's already kind of done the job. I'm going to just move in closer to the enemy leader here, and we're going to stick to the plan. This brewmaster is currently doing a lovely job blocking the assassin. So we're going to just keep the brewmaster where he is. Give the vizier a kick here or here, huh? I think I like this. This seems good. Because my opponent didn't get the acrobat, so there's really no reason not to put the vizier just all the way up. And then my rider can get into the fray. Right there. And then be ready to jump in here. There's nothing my opponent... Well, no, because my opponent can't move the nemesis, so there's no way that my opponent can block my rider from getting really, really close. And there's no point moving my leader. My leader's fine where he is. If my opponent had moved the manipulator up last time, it'd still be a ways off from winning, because this nemesis can't move. So, like, they'd have to, like, get the assassin around, but I can just... This brewmaster can just basically cut off the assassin pretty much all day. Not all day, but for several turns. I feel like I'm going to get over to the enemy before this assassin can get over to me. Alright, so my opponent does a nice job blocking with the jailer here. I do need to just check to see if maybe I can somehow win with the rider, and I don't think I can. Because I can bump the right... Oh, no, I can. Oh, I almost missed it. I was thinking, oh, well, if I bump the rider here, the rider can go there, and then the jailer blocks this. However, the move is I move my wanderer there. Then I give the rider a kick here. And it's not touching the jailer, so he can use his active ability right there, and that's checkmate. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it. Please like and or subscribe, and I'll see you again soon. Take care.